Here we are, another Saturday Final Cut TV Live. Boy, I tell you, we're doing okay hanging in there with nothing going on in the world of Final Cut. Not to us, the users. Yeah, it's a holiday weekend in the good old U.S. As a matter of fact, this is the 249th anniversary of the birth of the United States. July the 4th, 1776 was, of course, the birth of our nation when we declared independence from Great Britain. And next year will be the 250th. If I have next year will be 250. So we're still on the weekend. That was yesterday. I visited our local parade. I might play you a little bit of that. I edited it in Final Cut Pro, of course. It's got like 3,000 views in 48 hours. When I post local stuff, I do it on Facebook because that's where all the local Facebook groups are. So I filmed the parade. I interviewed some people, some contestants before the parade started. I said hi to people as I walked down the main drag before the parade was down there. Just saying, hi, happy 4th, happy 4th. Good holiday weekend, absolutely. Our friend over there on the X platform, I Know Buddy. And here we have the first two comments are not from YouTube, which is amazing. Clayton Moore says, good morning, absolutely. Well, it's just afternoon here. I got some... So we lost power here last week, was it? I think it was last week. And when we lose power around here, the main thing I have to worry about is the refrigerator. If we don't open the refrigerator, freezer combo for 2 hours, we're okay. After the second hour, you start risking your food going bad. So we lost power. They said it'll be back on in about 2 hours. This is like 3 o'clock in the morning. BG&E, Baltimore Gas and Electric. Well, it didn't come back on. They didn't even have anybody out there where the problem was. A tree branch fell on it. Nobody was even there. So we didn't get power on till like 10 o'clock in the morning. So I pulled out the old trusty, I have an old Generac generator and plugged it into the house. I got a switch and all that you turn the power off going back to the main circuit, plug your generator in, then your generator powers your house. Well, I haven't started it up for a while. So it was a little bit touchy getting it going. Finally, I got it going. And it's an old generator, probably 10, 12 years old, maybe more. An old Generac, 5,500 running watts, 8,500 starting watts. But it's an old one. So I went looking. For a new generator, and I found one. And I'm really, it's still in the box. It came from Home Depot. It's still in the box. One of the things I learned about generators is, because I ordered one from Home Depot. It's a Champion, by the way, Champion brand. An excellent, excellent brand. I've had nothing, I have their log splitter and they're excellent. So the here's what I learned about generators. Number one is, don't get a regular generator. Get an inverter, which means it has a very low THD, very low total harmonic distortion, which means the way that the electricity varies from the sine wave is very, very low. Because the first one I ordered, the THD was between 10 and 20%. That's probably okay for most of the stuff, but everything's got a circuit board nowadays. My refrigerator's got a circuit board. Washer and dryer's got a circuit board. The hot water heater's got a circuit board. Everything's got a circuit board, and I was a little bit concerned about just getting a regular generator. I ordered it, and it came, and I took it back, and I went around and got an inverter, which is it's a different way the generators work. The inverter is less than 3% THD. The other total harmonic distortion, the other one was between 10 and 20%, which is probably normal. But I said, since I'm getting a generator, let me get this inverter. It's a little more money, a little less wattage, but I'm really excited about it. I got it sitting in my garage in a box. I'm going to work on it. Let's catch up on some comments. Can we say this week is Logic Pro and Coffee Week? Yes. Well, we could, because Logic Pro got an update, a bug fix performance update, but it got an update. We're still waiting on the next update to Final Cut Pro. There's our friend Yari from Finland. Yari Innanen. Good evening, Richard. How you doing, Yari? Glad to see you can make it. How are you doing? You're going on vacation like Final Cut? No, I'm not. I'm working. I'm here with you all, everybody here. So I just heard a ding somewhere. We're still here in the summer. If I say Final Cut's going on vacation, because I don't really expect much to happen over the summer, Final Cut Pro team, please surprise me. But typically, July and August are like not much happening. So the question we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks is whether or not we're going to see a feature update in Final Cut between now and November, which we anticipate we're going to have the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in November, maybe early December. Who the heck knows? I have not heard anything yet. I've heard something, but it's nothing that I can talk about, and it's not any date. The intentions that I got is we're going to have a Creative Summit. Nothing's been firmed up. Everybody's excited about the last year's, including Apple, who was a big part of that. So I'm anticipating another Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Nobody has said that's definite, though, just so you know. just so you know. But as soon as I hear something and get the permission to talk about it, you will be the first to know. You will be the first to know. Hello from the Netherlands, also in vacation mode, preparing the SSDs for travel videos to edit on the fly in Final Cut Pro. So I have these. I love these for travel. Crucials. These are tiny, tiny little SSDs, and they're fast enough to edit off of. I take them with me when I travel so I can store any video that I shoot, like at the Creative Summit. So I have backup copies. Now these, both of these, each of these is 4 terabytes. This is 8 terabytes. 8 terabytes of SSD. Now, can I edit off of them? Sure. But I mainly use them for backing up my 2021 M1 Max MacBook Pro. So I have, when I shoot, I keep the copy on the phone or my Lumix S5 Mark IIX. I keep it on the card. I download a copy to my MacBook Pro and I make another copy to these. So that's 3 copies that I have of all the footage. Last year I have over a terabyte of footage from the Creative Summit. I haven't shown just a fraction of it so far, but some more that's coming out. T9s and T7 Samsungs here. I have both of those as well. Where the heck are they? I don't know where they are. I have T7s and T9s myself. So I have half a dozen SSDs. What is the capacity, cost, and connection port type? This is a USB-C. And these are 4 terabytes each. Look how big they are. They're much smaller than the Samsungs, much smaller, but they're 4 terabytes. The speed's acceptable. It's USB 3 speeds, so like 1,000. What do you think of OS 26 and its transparency? It doesn't really, I don't have a strong opinion about that. What do you think about it? Tell me what you think. The OS that I'm on now is completely fine. I'm not having any problems with it. So what I have on my Mac Mini Pro, is that what it is? Mac Mini Pro, yeah. It's an M4 Mac Mini Pro. I love it. 2 terabyte SSD. I only use 1 terabyte of the 2. What I've done is I have 3 separate, it's not partitions, 3 separate something, and I have 3 different startup Mac OSs on it. And when the new Mac OS is stable enough, I'm not putting debate on it because I'm not in any hurry. Mine is working fine right now. Let me see something here. What's going on? Yeah, mine's working fine. Check 1. Check. What the heck's going on? Something is not right. Huh. Check. Now that's weird. One of my plugins isn't working. Why is that? Check 1. All right, I am going to restart my, why isn't, the level was low when I was checking on it. Check 1, check 2. I am going to restart my audio interface, so it may sound a little bit funky. Let me try that real quick. Check. Check 1. Check 1, 2. One of my plugins isn't working. Isn't that strange? I wonder why. Oh, well, I'll have to go without it. Check 1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2. I'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Hold on a second. Check 1, 2. Testing 1, testing 2. That is really bizarre. I wonder how long that's been going on. One of my plugins, I'm looking at it, and I don't know why. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Let me just monitor my audio real quick on the live stream. Let's see what's going on there.
At Preston Ford West, we know that buying a car is...
I'm just going to check my audio real quick on the YouTube. Sorry, I had it muted. So imagine, let's go back to here. I wonder if they sell a dock for those tiny drives. Imagine 4 to 8 of them in a clean stand-up dock. There you could probably get something that's nothing specific. I'll be trying Final Cut in Mac OS 26 in a virtual machine if the App Store allowed login in 26. So you don't need to use a virtual machine necessarily. You can do a, what do they call that on the current situation? It's not a partition, but it's a, what the heck did they call it? I forget. Oh, let me just pull up my drive utility and I'll tell you what it's called. Mac Mini Pro. Volume. It's called a volume. So you create a new volume, and I have 3 different OSs I can boot into, okay, with my current setup. And I'll make a 4th one because I have a 2 terabyte SSD, and I'm only using like 1 terabyte after almost a year. Well, not quite a year. So I have plenty of room to make a new volume, and I'll install the new Mac OS on it. So at that point, I'll have 4 different Mac OSs that I can boot into. Now, the volumes share the total storage space on the SSD. So you really don't need a virtual machine. I have read about rumors of a new MacBook using an iPhone Pro chips, I think in A18. Can it run Final Cut Pro? Good question. Maybe. Maybe at a basic level, maybe not. I hope and think FMC are waiting on Apple to say they have something to show you guys than having nothing to show. They'll have something to show. This is the biggest, the Final Cut Pro Creator Summit is the biggest Final Cut Pro event of the year. Okay, it's the biggest one of the year. So Apple doesn't want to see that go away. Apple was a big supporter last year. They supported the actual event. So I expect for sure that I'm just anticipating it'll be the same month, November, maybe early December. It'll be the first, second, third week of November. It won't be the 4th or 5th week because that's Thanksgiving in the United States. And it won't be at Christmas time. So it'll probably the first, second, third week, some 3 days in there, probably. But I haven't heard anything yet, so I really can't say what's going on. Your audio is fine at mine, and thank you very much. I'm considering an M4 Mac Mini as well for use with Resolve Studio and Final Cut Pro both. I would wait, Clayton. because there's probably going to be an M5 announced this fall. So first, if two things will happen. Number one, the M4s will be cheaper. And number two, the M5 will be more powerful, so you can have a choice of which way you go. I prefer NVMe SSDs. They are faster. Yes, no, absolutely. Yes, absolutely they are. They are much faster. And I have a OWC Thunderbolt 5 SSD that gets close to the native SSD in the Mac Mini Pro speed. So they're also a lot more expensive. I don't need them when I'm just making backup copies on the road. And I can do basic edits off of these. I don't need the NVMe SSD, but you're absolutely correct. They are a lot faster, especially if the Thunderbolt. Bug report converting default ITT captions to CEA 608 captions, then to SRT adds an extra space at some, but not all CEA line breaks. Well, you have to report that. You have to report that. So friend Clayton is saying, So if I was in the market for a new Mac, I'm not right now because I got my M4 Mac Mini, it's a phenomenal Macintosh desktop. It's barely there. It's just the tiniest little thing, and it's very, very powerful. It runs Final Cut Pro. It runs Ecamm Live. And I have my 2021 M1 Max MacBook Pro that when I spec'd out a new MacBook Pro, it's like over $5,000 for what I want. I don't need it that bad. I only need the MacBook Pro for when I'm on the road. I probably am not going to be going to NAB anymore. So I don't really need a MacBook Pro until this one gets outdated. But right now it's running fine. M1 Max, it's top line of everything except for SSD. You know what? Is that? There we go. That didn't really make any difference. So I only need it when I travel. It used to be my desktop, but the Mac Mini Pro is fantastic. Highly recommended. I have to change my MacBook Pro. You think I have to wait for the M5 Max? The evolution compared to the M4 Max will be minimal. Probably. If you need it now, buy it now. If you don't need it right now, you can wait a few months. Why not wait? I mean, if I was in the market now, unless I needed it right now, I would wait because September, October is probably going to be the new M5 line, whatever they are going to be. So I bought this when it came out last year because I was in the market, and I got it for half the price of a MacBook Pro. Of course, it doesn't have a display or keyboard or anything, but it's very, very powerful. I got the top of the line. Except the SSD. I'm not paying an extra $2,000 for a 4 terabyte SSD. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. So Logic Pro came out with an update Thursday. It was 11.2.1. What the heck is it? Let me go over there and look. I don't even know. 11.2.1, I believe. Let me look. Yes, 11.2.1, because Logic Pro is 1 point number update further than Final Cut. Final Cut's 11.1. Logic Pro is 11.2. So the 11.2.1 bug fix came out Thursday. We had a bug fix for Apple May, was it? I forget when it was. So we're at 11.1.1, and I'm just going to be curious. I'm curious as to whether we're going to see 11.1.2 with a feature or two. The rumors say AV1, I don't know what that is, AV1 encoding, decoding with an M5. AV1, is that a new codec? Is that a new modern codec that we're talking about? So one of the things that happened this last week, or no, I'm sorry, happened. Oh, it's YouTube's codec. They developed their own codec, so are they going to make everybody upload to their codec? I don't know. I guess I missed that somewhere. I guess I missed that somewhere. I find the updates of Logic Blend rare, yet many studios use it. Logic is very, very popular in the studio world. I like it a lot. So I've been using the M1 Ultra Max Studio since July of 2022. Unless something incredible, at least I'm good until 2027 ago. Absolutely. I still have my 2021 M1 Max MacBook Pro, and I'm not planning on trading that in. It works fantastic. I only need the mobility now I'm probably not going to NAB anymore. I didn't go last year and I didn't miss it. It's gone. The attendance has gone way downhill. And it started going downhill before COVID. So they lost 10,000 members. Now I'm not dismissing NAB. I think it's still an important event, but I go to NAB this is what gets me to go to NAB. Super Meet. Doesn't have it anymore. Faster Together, stage or presentations, they don't happen anymore. Apple Final Cut Pro team doing an actual presentation open to the public. They did it in 2017 and 2018. The team was there in the convention center talking to the Final Cut Pro faithful. Free event. Packed house. They don't do it anymore. Those are the things that get me to go to NAB, Final Cut Pro related stuff. If there's no Final Cut Pro related stuff, I'm really not that interested in going. I don't need to go just to look at new products. I can wait till Blackmagic puts it out before the event. They did like this year, like a couple of days before the event, they showed all their new stuff. I don't need to be there in person talking to a vendor about a new microphone. I go for Final Cut Pro stuff. So if there's no Final Cut Pro events, no Super Meet. If there was a Super Meet, I would go. If there is a major Final Cut Pro event, I would go. Lacking both of those, I'm not planning on going anymore. Not 100%. I still could say I'm going to go. I get bored and I'll go. But right now, I'm not going. So the only event I really travel for is the Creative Summit in November. I'm running base model M1 Air, but I'm surviving with running proxies. I might get something to use that has 16 gigabytes of RAM while I wait for the M5. There you go. Good idea. I have a MacBook Pro M1 Max. It's starting to be limited. That's why I have to change. I have an M1 Max MacBook Pro, and it doesn't run day to day anymore for me. It's just I'm using it as a third screen down below right now. But I do use it when I go on the road because I got to run Ecamm Live for live streaming. This week I found out that the YouTube video editor has text-based editing. Apple, are you listening? A free online video editor allows major function not available in Final Cut Pro. Catch up. That's one of the number one things I think we get. I didn't know about that, Darius. YouTube has text-based editing? It's a little clunky the last time I used the editor. It just does basic stuff. I'll have to check it out. Yes, but I agree. Text-based editing would be something that I would be expecting this year in Final Cut, but I've been expecting it for a long time. And I've been expecting other things that didn't show up for years later. Everything that I expect shows up. The big things, scrolling timeline, dupe detection, bunch of other ones. They eventually show up. Right now, we're waiting for text-based editing and an audio mixer, and they will show up. Is the built-in logic update of IA I'm not sure. This was a bug fix performance update. This last update. AV1 AVI was developed by, among others, Microsoft as a competitor to the H.264 coder. I think Google is part of the development of the codec today. Okay. Well, that makes sense, but H.265 is pretty, and 264 is pretty well embedded at this point. They become standards and ProRes if you're doing more high-end stuff. But it's okay. We'll adapt whatever it's going to throw at us. I don't want Blackmagic to develop their own codec. Do they have their own codec? Maybe they already have it. So anyway, let me go over here. So one of the things that happened over the last month in June is there was the last LACPUG event that Mike Horton put on for years. Now, he hasn't been involved with the Super Meet. The last Super Meet was just Dan Berube by himself, and it was different than the other ones. I still enjoyed it. But I'm going to play a couple of clips of me and Mike Horton over the years. This is when I met Mike. Let me see if I can pull that up. This is when I met Michael. This was at NAB, and there's, of course, Bill Davis.
And then when people were filming it, it's just, you got to turn the thing around. it wasn't working.
Michael Horton, Richard Taylor.
What? Richard?
Meet you after all this time.
No, Richard and I talk all the time.
All the time. I've written all the articles.
I'm sorry, I didn't even, because I noticed it's,
Hey, well, it's hiding my face.
It is not your face. Hello, Richard. What the heck is that thing?
It's a conglomeration of things that I've...
It's not even the iographer. That's
No.
your conglomeration.
This was a Kickstarter. The frame was a Kickstarter.
Oh, really?
And then these are little attachments
That's
I
really
searched
cool.
for. Well, it's also...
That's a neat thing to start a conversation and go, hi, what the hell is that?
Everybody looks at it. It's also... It goes...
Oh, it's a selfie stick, too.
And you can put it on tripod.
That's cool.
Or you can put it on a tripod, which is a small little tripod. I got a mini
We
tripod.
got to take a shot of that.
Yeah. So we're on this fast tour. We got to get back to the Lumicore stuff. I'll see you tonight and tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
I'm going to be at the FCP thing.
If you're going to be at the Groove Gathering, I'll see you then.
Yeah.
I figured you would be.
If you want a couple postcards to give out to people.
We're doing the same thing, but yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. I'll be on.
Sure. We could use 150 more people.
Okay.
So that's when I met Michael in person. I had been writing all of the Final Cut Pro 10 articles for LACPUG for years, at least 90% of them. So, but I met him in person. That was the actual meeting in person. And I went to one of the LACPUGs when when Brad Olson debuted Off the Tracks there. He showed a clip of it. I was the co-editor with Brad on that documentary about Final Cut Pro. Worked on it for a year or so, back and forth. Brad sent me the hard drives through the mail. I downloaded it to my RAID. We would update things. I think what did we use? Frame.io? I think we used Frame.io. For updates. We had the bulk of the footage on a hard drive. I sent the hard drive back to him when I was done. But anyway, he had like a showing there at LACPUG, and he invited me in, and he got me there. He asked me if I wanted to go. I said, sure, I just need some sponsorship. He took care of that, got me there. I like to see Final Cut Pro and Compressor get an AI clips generator like StreamYard has in the library. TechSpace would be very well with this feature. So AI clips generator, what does that mean? AI clips generator, does that mean it's making clips for you? You put in a prompt and it makes the clips for you? Final Cut has Image Playground, but it's really cartoonish. I mean, I put a picture of myself, a couple pictures of myself, and told him to make it. It looks nothing like me, the cartoon that came out. Whatever the heck you call that, it looks nothing like me. It looks like a professor of some sort. I said, no, that doesn't even look that doesn't even look anywhere close to me. So I use it for just generic things, generic image of something I'll use it for. But it's nice to have it. We'll have to see what that's like. I'm just checking my audio, make sure it sounds okay, like I like it. It listens to a podcast or interview and picks key points that would make good shorts. Oh, I see. So it's like it's like a basic, does a scrappy edit for you. I see what you're saying. Well, AI is still not there yet, right? AI is depending on what's out on the internet. That's where it learns things. Hi to all from Dominican Republic. Alexander. Thank you, Alexander. Thanks for tuning in. Let your friends know about the show on Saturday mornings. Thanks for tuning in. So when I say Final Cut Pro is on vacation, it's because I don't expect any activity from Final Cut Pro over the summer. First off, people take vacations over the summer typically, especially July and August, which is where we are right now. Now, there has been an exception to that. They did give us a big update to Final Cut Pro at the end of August, 10.4.11, I think it was, when they gave us the proxy workflow. That was, thank you, that was really unexpected and it was a big, nice feature update. I think they can do the same thing again. They can sneak a feature update in over the summer, July or August. It maybe a bug fix could come along, so that would be 11.1.2. And then I'm just gonna guess 11.2, Final Cut Pro 11.2 will be at the Creative Summit. That's what they typically will do, is have the full point update, the number after the point, the first point, probably at the Creative Summit. Now, the Final Cut Pro team jumps all around with this numbering now in Final Cut. Sometimes they wait 6 months to do a full point update. Sometimes they wait a year for a full point update. So could they go to 11.2 with new features before the Creative Summit? Sure, they could. But I think it's more likely they'll save 11.2 for the Creative Summit. If there's going to be one, I'm just going to presume there's going to be one. What do you think about AI Magic upscaling in the sense HD to 4K or 4K to 8K? So there's a new product out, and I'm looking to try it out. I use Topaz Video AI. I've been using it for years for cleaning up noisy video and upscaling at the same time. It does both. Cleans up noisy video and upscales at the same time. Takes a long time. It's very processor intensive. And I have that, but it's a new product out. Let me just mention it. Let me go over here and see what it's called. Here we go. It is called, I don't know what it's called. Oh, you know what? I put it in my Safari tabs. Hold on a second. AIRTY Video Enhancer User Guide. AIRTY? AIRTY? Is that it? Let's go over here. So I'm waiting on getting my license for that. Let's do this. It's a new one. How do you say that? AIRTY? IARTY? Bring your next level desktop AI. So video enhancer, it looks like it's like a competitor to Video Topaz Video AI. And I'll be anxious to try this out. So that's something I'll be trying out perhaps this week. The video enhancer, and I'll let you know how it goes. If I like it, I'll let you know. If I don't like it, I'll let you know that as well. So we'll have to see. AIRTY.com, video enhancer. We'll have to see how that goes. Oh, where they jumped to 26, I thought they certainly could, but I thought that the 26s were for Mac OS, tvOS, iPad OS, iPhone OS. I thought they were doing that to keep all those in line. I would be surprised if they jumped Final Cut Pro to 26 and Logic Pro to 26 and Compressor to 26 and Motion to 26, because the full number update doesn't mean anything. It has no meaning if it doesn't have a meaning. You know what I mean? If it's not a real update with lots of features, just changing the update number becomes completely meaningless. Completely meaningless. Now, if they wanted to use 26 and go to 26 and gave it a bunch of new features, excellent. That would be phenomenal if they did that. So I don't know. I mean, could they? Sure, of course they could. They're unpredictable. They're all over the place with the new updates for Final Cut Pro. Now, are you excited about Mac OS 26? Is there anything exciting for Final Cut Pro users? I tested Topaz AI, and I'm not 100% convinced you have to have a super powerful computer. You don't. It'll just take a little longer. I mean, when I'm doing it takes about 3 to 4 times real time for me to process a video. So the good thing is you're not tying up Final Cut Pro. It's not a plugin. It's standalone. So you put your video that you want to work on over here on a different place, and then you can still run Final Cut Pro. In the meantime, it's updating in the app. But I'd like to try another one. Say AIRTY video enhancer. Let's see how that goes. I've upscaled a lot of standard def video to, I'd usually double the resolution when I'm cleaning it up. And Topaz Video AI has worked really well. But I don't keep an ongoing subscription with that. I let the subscription run out, and I keep using that version, the run out point, and maybe I'll update it 6 months later or a year later. But Final Cut Pro 11.x, Logic Pro 11.x, Compressor 11.x, Main Stage 11.x, and Motion 11.x will make sense, I think. The Motion's at 5? What is Compressor at? Maybe 6? I've been using Topaz AI output converting SD to 4K to use in portrait. Yes, I use it for my standard def stuff as well. I shot a lot of stuff on mini DV tapes back in the day. That was my first camera that I bought. I had cameras from a TV station. When I first started out, I could take them out on weekends, so I'd take them out and shoot. That was SVHS cameras, SVHS. And then I got a Sony Handycam with a big screen on it. I still have it somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. Still have it somewhere. I'm running 26 for Vision, Mac, iPhone, and TV. So far, it's pretty smooth. I'll wait. I'm not going to do this version of Mac OS is running completely fine for me. Everything's working. The biggest pain that I have, besides getting all your applications over to a new, because I do it from scratch. I don't use the assistant to pull stuff over other than just passwords in iCloud. I bring them over, so I don't have to worry about doing them again. And I do have one password in the cloud, so I can just log in there and get my passwords. But I do everything from scratch. I take a week or so and just build it up from scratch, download all the apps that I need from scratch, from the App Store, from original places. And so that's what I'll do when the new Mac OS is out, probably September, probably another couple months. There's nothing that I need it for. There's nothing compelling to make me update. So we'll see. I think there's too much transparency. Isn't that an option? Can you tone the transparency down or turn it off? I hope so. I'd have to see. Yeah, compressor I think is at 4x and motion 5x. So why not label them all 11? That would make sense for motion and compressor. Motion, Final Cut Logic gets the most updates. Final Cut Pro gets the second most updates. Logic Pro is just, Blackmagic gets the most updates. DaVinci Resolve gets more updates than anything. Logic gets more updates than Final Cut Pro. And Final Cut Pro gets more updates than compressor and motion, although they may update at the same time, the amount of features in Final Cut Pro is much more. Transparency is pretty, but translucency is more legible. There you go. That's good. Yeah, stuff like that doesn't really excite me. Transparency, no transparency. This Mac OS is working fantastic. Whatever the heck I'm on, I don't even know. 15 point something. 15.4.1. Mac OS Sequoia 15.4.1. You can choose the theme. My machine appearances are still pretty standard. There you go. There you go. So that's good. That is very good. Let's go over and watch another movie with Mike Horton from the NAB. So there's Mike. Let's see what we got. Else we got. So we were backstage. This was 2019, and I can tell by the orange tag that Michael has, the name tag around his neck. This is 2019 backstage at it wasn't the Super Meet, but it was like the Super Meet. 2018 was the last real Super Meet with Mike Horton and Dan Berube. And then they had some kind of a falling out or whatever, and they stopped working together. So this was like a Super Meet, but it was actually put on by LumaForge, and it was called the Faster Together stage. So in the chair over there, let me pull myself over and I'll show you. In the chair is Sam Messman getting his makeup on.
Doing IMAG. And,
Sam, you are being portrayed in such a wonderful light right now.
Yeah.
my wife and
Professional. He's being portrayed as professional.
This is how you go on stage.
Exactly.
Living it up.
There it is.
So if you can see, I'm over here with my iPhone filming in the green room, the setup room, backstage. Sam Messman's getting his makeup on. Michael Horton was just there. And then Michael says at the end, I think I cut it off. Michael says, hey, how come I don't get any makeup? Because Sam was getting makeup. And Michael says, how come I don't get any makeup?
How come Sam gets?
He says, how come Sam gets the makeup? So that was 2019. I know by the orange tags, Michael Horton. And we have one more. Oh, here we go. Here's the actual Super Meet itself. And I'm not sure, this maybe 2018, the last Super Meet, I think. This is what they were like. They were gigantic.
Dan Berube.
This is what we're going to do in the next 5 minutes.
We are dancing. Okay, welcome to the 17th annual Las Vegas Super Meet, and we are so grateful you are all here for that. We got a great show tonight, don't we, Dan?
We sure do. It's not the 18th, it's the 17th.
Yeah, we were
The
here.
20th.
We were here last year in the Brasilia Ballroom. We were supposed to be in the Pavilion Ballroom, but we moved to this Brasilia Ballroom, and we are lucky to be here. And boy, do we have a really good show tonight.
Everyone give a round of applause to the Rio Hotel for taking such good care of us tonight.
By the way, we haven't been out there very much. Is there any food left? Really?
Chicken went fast.
Yeah, well, there will be some bags of chips during the break. So let's.
So that's the Super Meet. That's the last one. I think it was the last one that they did together. I think that was 2018. I'm not positive. It might have been the second to last one. So one of the things when I go to NAB and when I go to the Creative Summit, at some point, it's going to be the last time that we see each other in person. Just the way things work with life. At some point, it's going to be the last Creative Summit that I'll be at. It'll be the last Creative Summit that other people will be. It'll be the last time we actually see each other in person, because the in-person part's important. And I'm bringing that up because Michael's not doing any more LACPUG events. He's been doing them for all these years. And when he started them, at some point, there will be an end to them. The end is here. Michael Horton is not doing any more LACPUG, those events. I was lucky to get a one with Brad Olson, like I said, and I've met Michael multiple times over the years. NAB, I think mostly. I met him at NAB. Has he ever been to a Creative Summit? His son has, because I interviewed his son, but Horton, Trevor Horton. But I don't think Michael, I don't think he's ever been to a Creative Summit. Anyway, I've been filming the Creative Summit since 2016. I have multiple terabytes, 20, 30 hours of video since 2016, the Creative Summit. I haven't played it all. I have video from the 2024 Creative Summit, which was probably the best one so far, 2024. We'll see if 2025, if there is one, tops it. He talks about what topics in this conference. Sorry, I don't follow. He talks, the Super Meet is not Final Cut Pro specific. Final Cut Pro is always a part of it. Blackmagic's there, Adobe's there, vendors are there. It's a giant get-together with people from all over the industry. We get together. So there's many, many different topics depending on who the sponsor was. Final Cut Pro 10 was previewed at the 2011 Super Meet at NAB. It didn't come out until June 21st, 2011, but it was previewed by Apple on stage at the Super Meet. Now, Apple took over that Super Meet. That's the way Apple does things. They said they're not going to be on stage with Blackmagic and Premiere. Michael's got stories about it. It just, they don't want to share the stage. They want to be the main center of attention. And it was packed. I wasn't there, but I've seen plenty of videos. So Final Cut Pro 10, X10, they was premiered at the Super Meet in 2011, NAB Super Meet. So anyway, my point is that Michael, I don't know what else he's going to do. I hope I get to see him at some point again, but no more LACPUGs. No more. So when you go to these events, be appreciative of your friendships that you have. Be appreciative of the friendships that you have. I'm always been very aware at events, especially that I like, at some point they're going to end. Either they're going to end, you're not going to make it back to one, your friends move away, they don't come back to them, whatever. But at some point, everything comes to an end. It's every year in Las Vegas. You're talking about NAB. NAB is just a giant. Just look up nab.org or whatever it is. It's a giant. 55,000 people, I think, last year. It used to have 110,000, but it's gone down to 55,000, so it's half what it used to be. Things have changed. It's mostly about National Association of Broadcast. It's multiple buildings, multiple days. There's all kinds of stuff. Manufacturers go there to show off their latest products, camera manufacturers, lighting manufacturers, microphone manufacturers, dolly manufacturers, tripod, all kinds of hardware and software combination. But Final Cut Pro team was there in 2017 and 2018, giving us updates to Final Cut Pro. Since then, they stopped. They've never been back again, doing an official Apple presentation, which is disappointing. It used to be the FCP Guru Gathering. Steve Martin used to put that on, where we'd have a dinner with all the Final Cut Pro people. So those are the things that I go to NAB for. If there's no Final Cut Pro events, there's no attraction for me to go to NAB. So I'm not planning on going next year. I didn't this year. I had reservations and I canceled them early because I said there's nothing. I don't want to go to NAB, walk around the show floor, talk to a mic manufacturer, talk to a camera manufacturer. Nothing special going on. No super meet. No faster together stage. No, what else was there? Whatever, FCPX Guru gatherings. No Final Cut Pro team presentations. I'm not going to go to Las Vegas just for manufacturers. I can watch all the videos online. I can watch the coverage from home without going through all the hassle of flying and getting hotels and all that stuff. But anyway, I've always been sponsored to go to NAB. I've always been sponsored. Final Cut Pro Radio, Final Cut TV. I always had sponsorships to go to NAB. LumaForge was, Sam Messman, LumaForge, one of the first ones to sponsor me. And then when they dissolved, I got other sponsors. LumaTouch sponsored me one year. Roger Bolton from Cormelt was a sponsor. I had a bunch of different sponsors that I would hit up every year to see if they wanted to sponsor. And the last one I went to 2 years ago, yes, I was sponsored. So it's not that expensive for me, but it's still a lot of going to the airport, going through whatever. It's still a lot of work. And it does take its toll. If I went to NAB and there was nothing special happening, I would get there and say, what am I doing here? I'm promoting, the one exception is Black Magic. I love the Black Magic. It's not a booth. They call it a booth, but it's not a booth. It's like a half an acre. They are the best. And that is really, really they're the best at NAB as far as I'm concerned. And then I used to go see anybody that sponsored me. I'd go make sure I got a video and interviewed, and then I'd put it up while I was at NAB. But a lot of this stuff's gone. People don't want to sponsor anymore. They don't want to. Everything's expensive. But the main thing is, if there were Final Cut Pro events, basic or a super meet, Final Cut Pro Guru gathering, any of these things, I would. If there's a super meet, I'd go, a good super meet, because that's a great event to go to. I would go just for that one event. But there's nothing like that last year. 2 years ago, Michael Choney had a dinner for Strata on Saturday night, and that was really cool. See, those are the kind of things I want to go to. I don't want to just go around and walking on the floor, wandering around the floor and talking to this mic manufacturer, and this guy's got a new tripod, and this guy's got a new this, and Panasonic, and blah, blah, blah. Because I'm just promoting them, and they're not sponsors of mine. So anyway. Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Let's hope. We should hear something. I should hear something July. I expect to hear something in July. And FMC will let me know how much I can talk about. And that's what I do. Whatever they say I can do, that's what I do. That's what I do. But I really enjoy the Creative Summit. It has nothing to do with the Super Mute in the prelude to the Super Bowl. Super Mute. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever, the Super Mute. It's all about broadcasts and video and audio, and they need to get some, what's the right word, influencers in there, people from YouTube and stuff. They need to get a younger audience as well as the professionals, both, as well as the professionals. So my favorite booth by far was Black Magic. I did an interview with Grant Petty 1 year. Let's do this. Let's do this, since we're talking about it.
Can I get a picture with you?
So this is my interview with Grant Petty from 2 years ago.
Can I get a picture with you? Yeah, no problem. By the way, fantastic keynote Friday.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely fantastic. It was over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was really long.
I love Resolve 19.
It just got longer, and it's like, well, what do? You kind of cut so much out that you don't make any sense.
Right.
It's a bit tough to know how much to cut out, but
Great
you know,
job.
I'm glad it was useful. That's the thing. I always think that, I've just sort of deliver all the detail, and some of it's good. Most of it's good, you hope. Sometimes there's some caveats or not bad things, but no, it can do this or can't do that. I reckon if you just get all the information out there, and everyone else can kind of work out, oh, yeah, okay, that's important, that fixes that, or this is that. You don't quite know. Like when I was an engineer working in post, you kind of just tell people what's going on, and then they kind of know whether it's good or not. I don't actually, I'm hoping it's good. We're going to find out pretty quickly if it's not.
Oh, sure.
Like the replay stuff, I'm nervous as hell about the replay.
Is that right?
I've used it, and so I'm thinking it's good, but you don't know until guys are live. Even last night, I thought of a new way of doing, using it.
Sure.
So every time you use it, you go, oh, why aren't I doing this? I should be using an endpoint for that.
Sure.
So it's just a lot of reiteration. And being in DaVinci, it's good because it means we can keep changing it. But that's what makes me always nervous coming to the start of the show.
No.
If someone comes up and goes, oh, but you didn't do this. It's like, oh, God, I forgot to put, how could I be so stupid not to think of that?
No, I understand.
But that's the reality of coming here, isn't it?
Resolve 19 is fantastic.
I know. What I love about Resolve 19, it's particularly exciting. It was a huge risk putting Fusion and Fairlight in it. But now they're actually interacting. So you've got like a tracker from the video side, moving the audio, pounding the audio around on the audio side. And that's the bit that's really exciting. Because we had to spend a few years rewriting the code. Like when Fusion went in, it was only Windows before we acquired Fusion.
Okay.
We had to get a cross-platform. We had to change a lot of code, get it in there. We had to replace the frameworks, get it a lot of speed. It's got the USD and everything in it now. And now you've got it all interacting with the different sides. And that's where I think it's really exciting because we don't know what that's going to be.
It's brilliant.
If you've got audio and editing in the same app and then 3D environments in Fusion, what does that mean? It kind of gives you this capability of doing pretty much anything you want. So I don't quite know what the future of that's going to be.
So that was my interview with Grant Petty. Maybe anybody that don't have influencers because hint, they don't want them there. They don't want to see them as real pro, not as broadcaster Hollywood. But that's a big error. Well, that's why the attendance has dropped from 108,000, 109,000 to 55,000. COVID, it went down during COVID, of course, but it's been going down post-COVID as well. They should have influencers, YouTube influencers. Some of these YouTube people have millions of views, millions of followers. They can still have broadcast quality, professionals, but they can also have influencers because the world is changing. You can tell Grant loves his job. His announcement videos are spectacular. And my meeting with him, the time I did the interview, he was very, very cordial and, talked. The camera was there recording us as he knew. What's the camera you have around the neck? It's not a GoPro. No, it's a Action 4. Is it an Action 4? I sold it just recently. I have an Action 5. I think, yeah, it's an Action 4. So I had that. When I go places, I keep that going kind of like all the time, just so I don't miss a shot. And then I didn't have it going when we were there, I don't think. I had it going when I was talking to Grant, because I recorded him off my iPhone, whatever version I had, 14 Pro Max probably in those days. I like the GoPro. I like the Action DJI cameras better than the GoPro. So the Action 5, I'll give you a couple things I like it better than the GoPro. It has built-in storage, 56 gigabytes of built-in storage. You can still use a little card, but if you forget your card, you have 56 gigabytes of storage built into the camera. What else do I like about it? There's a couple of other things I really, really like that the GoPro doesn't have. I forget what they are right now, but that built-in storage is one. There's two or three. Oh, when you hit the record button, if the camera's turned off, you hit the record button, it starts recording in less than half a second. It starts recording in less than half a second. I think it's 0.4 or 0.6 seconds. Hit the record, it starts recording that quick. So those are some things that the other ones just don't have. I'm looking forward. Oh, as a matter of fact, let's go over here. These are the three cameras that I use right now. So I have my iPhone over here. This is my Lumix S5 Mark IIX over here. And then above me is my DJI Action 5 right there. So these are the three main cameras, and I have two iPhones, Pro Max cameras, the DJI camera, and then the Lumix S5 Mark IIX. Those are the cameras. I'm looking for the DJI Action 6. It should be coming out July, perhaps. DJI Action 6 and the DJI Mic 3. Those are the two things that I'm looking at. I don't use DJI gimbals. I use the Insta360 gimbals, which in my opinion are a better gimbal. So, but I have DJI drone, 4K drone. I have a DJI Action 5, which absolutely is better than the GoPro in my opinion. And I have the DJI Mic 2, which you know all about of. You've seen me with it many times. YouTube is a way of speaking to new broadcasters in Hollywood, discarding YouTube a fatal area. It is. Stabilization is very good in the DJI Action 5. It was in the 4 too, but the Action 5, it's even better. So I'll be getting it, more than likely, I'll be getting an iPhone 17 Pro Max, unless they call it the iPhone 26 Pro Max, whatever. As long as there's improvement in the video. I don't care about photography. I don't care about anything else. If they improve the video dramatically, then I'll be interested in getting a 17 Pro. Right now I have the 16 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max. So if the 17 Pro Max is interesting to me, I will trade in my 15 Pro Max on the 17 Pro Max. But I always got to have two iPhones. Always got to have two. Got to run. Have an excellent rest to your weekend, all. Thank you very much for tuning in. I edit projects. Thank you very much. We got like 40 or 50 people watching live right now, which is very, very cool. Thumbs up to all of you for coming in. We'll give you all this too. That's for all you tuning in every week. I think we'll probably come here, make it every Saturday. Probably. I might take one off, but I can come on at least for a half hour. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. The more I study what is the new creators economy, the more I think it represents the future. Of course, it absolutely does. It does. Let me go back over here real quick. This is, let me say, take that off, 3 cams. Here's our picture of one of our cats, our outdoor cats, community cats. His name is Shadow. His eyes are as green as the grass. He's on the driveway there, but we really like him. We've taken him under our wing. We have a place for him outside. He's completely out of danger. There's no roads he crosses. He stays pretty much in our backyard. He's a very beautiful cat. So we have him in our backyard. His name is Shadow. And here's something so I started podcasting 21 years ago. The first year of podcasting, Apple picked 52 podcasts. The first year of podcasting on iTunes, Apple picked 52 podcasts to celebrate the first birthday for podcasting. And mine was one of those 52. Mine was one. I was very, very honored about that. Now, Final Cut Pro team, these are the kind of warnings, pop-up warnings we don't need. The operation could not be completed. No other information is available about the How does that help? These kind of warnings are just ridiculous. Get something better than that. That always kills me when I see that. Here's our friends Philip and Greg. Here's their plugin. Available on the Mac App Store. I highly recommend it. It's $19. Dynamic titles, something like that. No, I forget what it's called, but that's the picture. Just look up Intelligent Assistance. What is this one? Oh, yeah. So I think these are the most ridiculous. I can't believe they put these, looks like a giant spiders holding microphones for these guys. They're ridiculous. They just visually look ridiculous. I keep talking about this because I'm a very visual person. And these arms that are holding these microphones for these people are ridiculous. You should have used good quality lapels. It looks like a spider's sitting behind the chairs, and the spiders holding these microphones. It's just visually, I was really shocked when I saw that. What is this? That's my bandwidth. I think that's all for that. Anything else going on in the world of Final Cut Pro? Anything else you want to talk about post-production wise? We talked about Mike Horton having his last LACPUG. Like I said, you start these things, start going to the Creative Summit, you start the LACPUG. At some point they end for one reason or the other. I hope the Creative Summit keeps going on for a few more years. At least at least. So we're gonna have one of these. Our friends from Australia. We're gonna have them on for another edition of our Final Cut Pro friends from Australia, either later in July or beginning of August, sometime around that. I'll make the announcement. We'll have them on. It'll be Ian Anderson. It'll be Chris Hawking. It'll be probably Philip, because he's over in Australia now, Philip Hodgetts, and Lee Herbert. Probably those are the four that I'm planning on having. It'll be our 9th or 10th time we've had an exclusive Aussie Final Cut TV. I think it'll be later in July or at the beginning of August is what I'm planning on it. And we'll see what's going on over there in Australia. But anyway, Final Cut Pro is on vacation. I can officially say that. I sure hope they have an update for us between now and the Creative Summit, November. It's possible. It wouldn't disappoint me if they don't have it, but it's a long wait from 6-month wait, 5-month wait between now and November. Let's hope November, whether it's Final Cut Pro 11.2 or 11.3 or Final Cut Pro 12 or Final Cut Pro 26, whatever the big update is, they did such a good job last year. Both FMC and Apple did a phenomenal job with the Creative Summit. It was the best Creative Summit ever. Of course, I reported on it every day, at least once or twice a day, and I'll do the same this time. I'll come on and we'll tell you all the latest and greatest stuff that we can. There's nothing that we couldn't talk about. There's nothing we could not talk about. They've never told us not to talk about something. Not since I've been going. Maybe 2015 they did. I think they did in 2015, but that was different. 2016 on, post it on social media, talk about it all you want, promote it. So that's it. What else? Oh, Apple got that new sensor, right? They got that new sensor. They said it's 20 stops of dynamic range. I can't imagine that's going in an iPhone, but who the heck knows? That's one of the things that we talked about this week. Logic Pro update didn't have any new features. It's just a bug in performance update, which is appreciated. Let's do this. Logic Pro team. Logic Pro team. Thanks for getting us so many good updates. I'm a big fan of Logic Pro. I use it for music, and I use it for anything complicated audio-wise. Anything, my podcast, I do it in Logic Pro. Well, let me take that back. Right now, I'll take an hour and a half of audio, put it into DaVinci Resolve, do a text-based edit of it, which is much faster than listening to it in real time. I can just look at the text, say, no, take that out, take that out, take that out, and get a concise rough cut. Then I'll take that rough cut into Logic Pro and refine it. Let me just check on something real quick. Is that working yet? It's not working. Let me see. Why is that not working? I must have a switch somewhere, right? I don't understand. One of my plugins is not working. Some settings require a DAW restart. Some settings require... Check. It's really weird. Check 1, 2. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? Check 1, 2. No, it's still off. It's really strange that it's not, one of my plugins, Universal Audio plugins, is not working. I don't know why. That I normally have to figure that out. I don't know when it stopped working. This week, last week, I don't know. Anyway, Anything else? Anything else going on? It's nice and hot here. It's what's the temperature today? It's 84 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's been in the 90s. It has been in the 90s. I get up I go for a 2-mile walk every morning, early, usually between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. I get up this morning at 1:50 a.m. I went to bed early, 6 o'clock last night, so I got up at almost 2 o'clock. I mosey around, do a couple things, go out for a walk between 5 and 6 typically. I go for a 2-mile walk, and I can already tell that the days are getting shorter. The days are getting shorter, so I can already tell in the mornings it's a little darker than it was back in beginning of June. All right, everybody, I'm going to head out. You have any other questions, go ahead and speak up before I head out. Let's do this. Don't forget to subscribe over there on the YouTube channel. Look at that. Try that again. Don't forget to subscribe over there in the YouTube channel. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Our YouTube channel is YouTube at Richard Taylor TV. I have all kinds of things there, a lot of Final Cut Pro stuff and other things. And our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups Final Cut TV and Radio. Absolutely. I like to see quantum editing, multiple conflicting edits in a superposition that you resolve into a final edit. That would be very cool. Pixelmator Pro recently received an update that integrated Apple Intelligence. I hope they continue to develop, especially by adding more generative AI features. So the Frank 636, I agree with you. Well, of course, Apple just bought them. I presume they're going to keep on adding to that. They bought them for a reason. I'm sure they're going to keep on developing Pixelmator Pro. I've been using that for years. I really, really like Pixelmator Pro. A lot. Oh, hey, look, I got a scrolling banner. Here we go. Look at this. Huh. Make it go faster. I haven't used that in a while, but I use it sometimes. Yeah, the AI features are cool. I like it. The more AI can do for me, the better I like it. Like Topaz Video AI, I like it a lot. It's a really, really nice piece of software. I'm looking forward to trying this new one out. All right. Are we going to... We'll be back next Saturday, if not before. If there's an update to Final Cut Pro, I'll come back. Like I said, we're going to have the Aussies on. A special edition or on the Saturday, either way. In later July or in August, like you got to deal with 4 or 5 people's schedules and stuff. So our friends Philip and Greg are over there back in Australia. They moved back. So they're over there now, completely off my time schedule, 14 hours. If Final Cut Pro could do generative fills, I would let go of Photoshop. There's one of our cats. Amanda Jones, come here. Well. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Here, let's do this. Check the backyard out. Nice and green. Everything is very, very green. I have a big picture window that this camera is shooting out. Big picture window in my backyard. I got one in the front yard too. custom-made glass. But everything is very, very green. I cut the grass yesterday. I mowed the lawn with my zero turn. All right. I'm going to head out, everyone. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. My name's Richard Taylor. Don't forget, every Saturday, stop on by. That's for all of you that come by here every Saturday. We get lots and lots and lots of people live. Right now, we have like 40, 50 people watching live, which is great. Building an audience, go over there on YouTube. Give it the old thumbs up. It's appreciated. I'm going to head out, and if I don't talk to you before next Saturday, we'll see you next Saturday. All right, everyone? Final Cut Pro team, we would not mind a feature update between now and the Creative Summit. And hopefully we'll have an announcement about the Creative Summit, what I can talk about soon. If I get the announcement during the week, I'll come on and do a short one of these during the week. All right, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. We have a great time here on Saturdays. Thank you very much.